What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we are checking out the AFV Mach-Force XP 3-inch single side exit exhaust system with the polished tip fitting all 2013 through 2015 4.0 liter Toyota Tacomas. Now if you need to replace your factory exhaust system because of rust, damage, or simply because you want some better sound, this will be a great addition to your Tacoma. Now this will offer a deeper tone without a bunch of volume, as you heard from the sound clip, being a great option for the daily driver, so I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being Wake the Neighbors loud. Along with the sound level, this also just keeps the classic styling if you just want a refresh in appearance and an increase in sound without changing much of the current setup. This will feature a very similar design to factory, keeping it simple when it comes to the looks, but having a higher flow and less restrictive construction thanks to the straight-through style muffler that will add that sound and performance to your truck in addition to the look. Now the muffler will also absorb any high-pitched tones, keeping the presence of your exhaust much more aggressive, but while it is high flow, it's not going to produce an outrageous amount of volume, being comfortable inside the cab and out. Now this is not a power mod by any means, but another benefit of freeing up restriction is a small power gain. Most of the time these gains are not really that noticeable, but this will be a great supporting mod if you are looking to increase those power numbers. This is going to be made of a high quality 409 stainless steel construction to maintain good rust resistance to the system and hold up to the elements much longer than something like the factory materials. The tip, however, if you can tell, is a polished 304 stainless that is going to be completely rust resistant, keeping the polished look for many years to come, and will have a rolled slash cut tip and the AFV branded plate on the side for a bit of additional style. The piping will also be 3 inches in diameter and mandrel bent for smooth and good airflow. This will also have MIG welded factory style bayonet hangers to hold the system in place and create an OE style fit when you're mounting this up. This system will cost you roughly $850. Now what I do think stands out about this is the very close to factory look while using a good stainless material and maintaining a good sound for the 4 liter. Now others may switch it up in design or sound level, but I think if you just want a good quality option to get a mild looking and sounding system that will last, this is a great one to look at. Install will be a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. I would recommend a little bit of mechanical know-how in order to get this done, but it should only take you about 2 hours to do it with the right hand tools and setup. Now I do want to note that shorter wheelbases will require a little bit of cutting for proper fitment. However, at this point we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on our truck right now.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, an exhaust hanger remover tool, 14mm wrench, an extension, and 14 and 15mm sockets. What's up guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our Tacoma. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory exhaust, and I'll meet you right back here for the install.
All right, so we have our Tacoma in the air, and the first step in the uninstall is to remove both of the bolts at the front flange of the exhaust. Grab a 14mm socket and let's get these removed. Now we have a little bit of PB Blaster on these just because they are a bit rusty, so we sprayed them down. Now we can remove them with a 14mm socket. Now that we have our exhaust disconnected, we can disconnect all of the hangers as well. We have an exhaust hanger removal tool here. And we're gonna slowly work it off of each of the hangers. You can add a little bit of lubricant here to help the rubber isolator move past the hanger. And you might just have to work it off of the end a little bit. And now that that's off, we can move on to the rest. Now you can repeat that with the rest of your hangers. Just be ready, as once all of your hangers are removed, there's nothing else holding the exhaust to the vehicle. And once the hangers are removed, go ahead and remove it off of your truck.
So now that we have our catback removed, the first thing we're going to do is install our front pipe. Now if you have the 128-inch wheelbase, you will have to cut 12 inches off the edge of this pipe. However, we have the longer wheelbase, so we'll just be installing this as is. So this bend here is going to go towards the right if you're standing from the front of the car looking at the back. So we'll raise this up and get our bolts installed, and then we can tighten those down. So I've got a pole jack here to support the weight of the back of the pipe while we tighten this down. And then we can reinstall our bolts. Now from the factory, this is just going to thread into the other side of the flange. However, our hardware has been replaced, so we're going to have a nut on the back side of ours. And now with the factory hardware, you would just take a 14mm socket to tighten down the two bolts. However, since we have a nut on the back of ours, we're using a 14mm socket and wrench. Now next we can install our muffler, but before that I'm going to pop this isolator off. The rod for this isolator goes towards the front of the car, while as the rods for the back two go towards the rear of the car. So I'll pop this off, and then we can get our rods into our rear isolators, slide it over our pipe, and then we can slide our isolator onto both rods. So I'll grab the exhaust hanger remover tool to pop this off. So now we can slide our two rods into our back two isolators first, and then get this muffler inlet over our pipe. I've got one of our clamps on our muffler inlet. Next we can take our rubber isolator and slide that over our two rods. And then once we have that in place, we can get our clamp to the edge of our muffler inlet and take a 15mm socket to tighten it down. Next we can install our tailpipe. So we'll grab another clamp for our muffler outlet, and then we can get our pipe over the axle and into our muffler outlet, and then raise this up into our rubber isolator. Next we can go back to our clamp on the muffler outlet and take a 15mm socket to tighten it down. Now lastly, we can install our tip. I've got our clamp on there, so we can slide this onto our tailpipe and then take our 15mm socket to tighten it down. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the AFE MachForce XP 3-inch single exhaust system with polished tip, side exit for your 2013 to 15 4-liter Tacoma. Thank you for watching, and for all things Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.